Yo guys, what's good? My name is Callum Dolby and welcome back to another video on the channel. This is my Posh review of today's game against Bolton, and what a game it was. End to end, defensive frailties on both teams and some really good attacking play. It reminded me much of the old school Posh a few years ago under Fergie when it was just attack, 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 and that's sort of why I fell in love with Posh in the first place back when I started going in the kind of late 2000s. And it just, like I said, it reminded me of teams of old, and it was just a really fun game to watch. And this is why I fell in love with Posh and fell in love with football. So I've got the old school shirt on. I don't know exactly what year it's from, but I'm pretty sure this is actually my dad's from back in the day. So yeah, I thought I'd don this shirt to really symbolise what today's game was like. Very enjoyable. I've kind of got like a minute by minute almost. I've wrote down quite a lot of notes on what happened today, so I'll probably talk through them briefly and then go through the game in general and then my player ratings as normal. So yeah, I thought like the first half an hour was just mental, just end to end. I thought Bolton were really in the game. They came to London Road and really wanted to play football the right way, and they just completely went at us. And I don't think we really expected that, so we were just kind of going at them as well. And it was just a really strange half an hour. There's almost like no, not tactics, but no just there wasn't really any phase of play. It was just you attack, we attack, you attack, we attack. It was a really odd game, and I was trying to sort of think what I was going to say about this period of play, but I just kind of put down it was mental. Like I couldn't really keep up to date with it. It was a really bizarre opening of the game, and I thought Kyoso was quite poor in that first half an hour. He let his man go quite a few times, and he also going forward. He was really like sort of frail defensively. Not going for, sorry, going forward. He was really frail, like getting the crosses into the box. Like he kind of was taking them almost too soon, and like just yeah, his crosses were really bizarre and quite erratic. I thought, and yeah, I think it's just a really poor display from him in that first sort of half an hour. I think he grew into the game a bit more, and contributed a bit more to the game in the second half. But I did think again it was a bit of a poorer game from him. But we'll get onto him in more detail in the player ratings, because I think he's quickly becoming a player that is becoming a little bit untrustworthy maybe. But I think it really just goes to show what we can do after a full week's rest. I think we kind of hit a brick wall against Lincoln, and obviously they're a good team as well. But I think we just had so many games back to back where it was just almost one too many for us, and we had a full week to reset and then just go again, and that really showed today. We were just bombing forward the whole game, and the press was really good, and yeah, like I said, a really impressive performance. And then this kind of, after a bit of a ramble, and I kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but I'll get back onto the kind of timeline. After that half an hour, we kind of pumped the ball long from Bass, and Morgan did a really good flick on, and Jimmy J sprinted through, no one around him, and he managed to slot it away. Now, my initial thought is, I don't know if this is a bit harsh, but I thought it was quite a poor finish, and I thought the keeper probably should have saved it. But yeah, still a great flick on from Leonard. He's really getting a knack of doing that and being in the right areas to beat his defenders, who are normally at least a couple of inches taller than him. So yeah, definitely a threat. Obviously we like to play football, on the floor the proper way. But if we do need to go long, we've always got Leonard who can offer that service, and obviously that's why he should be starting over someone like Lindgren. Now I know Lindgren is injured at the minute, so it's quite harsh to compare the two when he's not even playing. But I think that's just the real difference is Leonard's all round play. So yeah, I thought it was quite bizarre because Bolton made a couple of changes before the half and kind of gave away their formation change before half time. It was like the 43rd minute. I think they changed their team around and made a couple of subs, and they also made one at half time. So I thought that was really bizarre from them. And yeah, I don't really know why they did that. It kind of reminded me a bit of Fergie, where he kind of just makes really odd subs, when he was like kind of a bit stuck. And I've seen a lot of Bolton fans on Twitter sort of saying like I think his name is Schumacher, is like Schumacher out, and I'm just like, they're fifth in the league I think, but I don't think they've been going too well recently. They've got some fantastic players. That is it Cozy Adubri, I think he's called, was really good. Well, I say really good. He was good in the first sort of 20 minutes. He rinsed Johnson once, but I think Johnston did really well to really grow into the game and get back at him. And yeah, I thought he was really good, but I again, it was a strange substitution. So I don't know really why they did that. It kind of I think it threw them off and it threw us off a little bit as well, which is probably why they did it. And then there was also a just straight after the half, Kyoso did a nice cross into Keller, who flicked it onto Lisby, and he kind of fell over as he shot, and he just shanked it wide, which is it was a bit strange one really, just a strange shot I think. And then 52nd minute I've got here is a good breakaway for Posh, finds the ball into Keller, who knocks it down. And he kind of volleys it as he chests it, and then he sort of chests it and then volleyed it, I seem to remember. And then the keeper makes an outstanding save. It was really good because Keller it was kind of low and hard, and fair play for the Bolton keeper. Then reactions were really good. And then pretty much straight after that, again, it was so hard to actually kind of remember all these phases of play, which is why I've wrote them down, and trying to sort of read them and speak them is a bit confusing at times, but we'll get through it. Pretty much straight after that, it was just so hectic, this period of the game, so I'm trying to describe it the best way I can. The ball breaks to Archie Collins I think it was about 35 yards, and he kind of does like almost like a side foot on the half volley to Garbett, who then cuts in on his man and scores a really nice finish into the bottom corner with his weak foot. And I'll get onto Garbett later, but man, he is so good. I can't believe he's playing for us. He's really up there with one of the better players I've seen at Posh, which is really saying something. And then pretty much just after that, there was a really good sort of half chance. Jimmy got played forward to Leonard on the halfway line. He tried to chip it through to Jimmy J Morgan, but the defender cut it out. But if that had gone through, and that would have been 3-0, honestly, that's game over. And then on 64 minutes, Bolton play it long. They knock it to the right hand side, and to be fair, I think it might have been their left back, did a really good cross in, and pretty simple finish. Kind of just side foots it into the top corner, but I think we just fell asleep at this point. We were dominant for so long, and I don't think we really expected Bolton to keep coming at us, and it was a really sloppy goal to concede. Again, it was down Kyoso's side, and I think defensively he's been really suspect. And then straight after that, it didn't really matter because we went straight down the other end, and Lisby scores into the near post with a shot on his weak foot, and it's just like I can't even put into words how hectic this like 20-minute period after the halftime whistle was. I'm trying to sort of portray it the best I can, but I really can't. Honestly, I would go, and I'd really recommend just watching from like 45 to like 70 minutes if you can, through Posh Plus or something, because it was just absolute chaos. It was brilliant to watch, honestly, it was brilliant. And then a ruled out goal for Bolton around the 70th minute mark. They cross it in, and I don't know if it was a foul. I mean, probably by the letter of the law it definitely was a foul. Bass gets fouled, and yeah, it gets chalked off. And then around 74 minutes, they play a really nice ball into the box. Again, it's 2-1 at this point, and Garbett makes a really good sliding tackle. It was kind of like on the corner of the box. It would have been a penalty if he didn't make it, but their player was clean through on goal, and they probably would have scored from it, but he makes a really nice sliding tackle. And it was just a really good tackle from him, and it's definitely stopped them having a goal. And then, to be fair, it kind of settled down after that. I think after all them sort of phases of play where it's just attack, attack, attack. I think after Garbett did that really good sliding tackle in like the 74th minute, they kind of run out of steam. I think Bolton, and it kind of settled down a little bit. And with it being 3-1, I don't think they really had any chance of coming back as later it got into the game. And we brought on some subs, like Aderojo did a pretty good job when he came on of holding the ball up and running into the channel, and he almost actually scored, to be fair. He kind of chested it and then volleyed it with his left foot, but it went straight at the keeper. And I think pretty much the last phase of play in the game, near enough, or the last phase that I seem to remember, was it was involving Kean Hayes and Kioso. He came on, Kean Hayes came on the right and cut in on the left, played it through to Kioso, and he kind of tried to do what Garbett did and cut in on his weak foot and tried to curl it into the corner, but it got blocked, unfortunately, by the keeper. It was a decent save, to be fair. And then that was basically it, like a play-by-play. So I'll go into my player ratings now. Again, just an absolutely mental game. It's been really hard to actually kind of break it down and describe it to you guys, but hopefully I've done a semi-decent job. It's been a little bit rambly, but that's what you get in these videos, especially when it's just me talking, when I don't have someone else to bounce off, I guess. But yeah, let's go into the player ratings now. Bass, I thought, was good again today. He didn't really have any chance of the goal. Again, he didn't have too much to do. I seem to be saying that quite a lot about Bass, but our defence did really well to kind of keep Bolton out. I don't really remember him making many saves, if any. I think there was one where they went for on goal and it went out for a goal kick, but there was they were protesting for a corner, so he might have saved a one-on-one, but I can't really say that for certain, so I'm not gonna count that towards his rating. But thought he was solid, commanding in the area like he always is, and again, no chance of the goal, so I give him a 7. I thought he was good today. And then we'll move along to the back four. Kioso, I thought, was pretty poor defensively. He got caught out numerous times, and he found himself in so much space on the right flank because Garbett kept cutting in and leaving that space for him to run, because he would drag the left back with him, and he just wasted so many chances. And it was really disappointing from Kioso today. I thought he. Like I was saying earlier, he's rapidly becoming that player that you can't really rely on. I guess it's like he's just not consistent at all. Like he was getting the ball kicked past him plenty of times when he was in defence, and then going forward he just wasn't providing that final ball at all. And I think he was probably, out of everyone today, he's probably the worst player, which is it's not anything like terrible. I thought it was still an average Kioso, well, not average, probably a just below average Kioso performance. It wasn't anything like catastrophically bad, but I just thought he wasn't amazing today. So I'll give him probably 5.5. I think 5's maybe a bit too harsh, but I thought he could have had a goal today and probably a couple of assists if he if he really took his time and picked his passes out better. And then moving along the defence, Tom Lees I thought was really solid today. Again, him and O'Connor, really good partnership while Akagbe's out injured. I think he's done something with his ankle. So I heard on the Hard Truth podcast, he shouldn't be out too long, luckily. It's not broken, so he should be back soon, and I'm really looking forward to having him back. But again, these two, it seems like whoever we put alongside Lees is just like really good, which is, that's what you want to see. And they're forming a good partnership, and so are Lees and Akagbe, so you can't really complain. I think both of them together really solid today. Winning pretty much all of their headers, really good tackles, and just stopping the play. I'll give them both a 7 combined. Now moving on to the left back, Carl Johnson, I thought was really, really good today. I thought he was back to his best. He had a shaky game against Lincoln, but I thought he was top draw today. I think he got, like I said earlier in the video, he got skinned once by Kaiser Dubry, but after that he really rose to the challenge and he was phenomenal. I don't think his winger really got him past him again. His passes were basically on point every single time, and he played some nice balls through to Lisby as well. And we've got to remember, this isn't his natural side, so I'll give him a 7.5 today. Yeah, I think he was better than Lees and Akagbe. Another player back to his best was Collins. I thought he was really good again today. Breaking forward, he had a bit of a funny moment where I think it was Leonard who kind of passed it to him, and he like chested it and tried to volley it on his weak foot into the top corner. It went out for a throw in, and he kind of laughed as he jogged back into position. But no, he was really good. He was breaking up play left, right, and centre, and you know, all of his passes, pretty much all of his passes were really accurate, and they were forward as well, which is good to see. I'll give him a 7.5 as well, I think. And alongside him, you had Keller, and I thought Keller was good today. I don't think he was as good as Collins, but he was really positive. His work ethic is absolutely relentless, and he didn't really give away too much at all, to be fair. So maybe it's quite harsh to say he wasn't as good as Collins, because he was really solid today, and you know what you're going to get from Keller. He's that industrious sort of player, and he's probably the perfect partner, to be fair, for Collins. You know, he gets forward and back as well to help, and he gets his shots off as well. Like he had that volley that on another day goes in if the keeper doesn't make a really good save. So I'll probably give Keller a 7. I think that's a fair rating. And then on the left wing, we had Lisby, he was unplayable today. I mean, I've been critical of Lisby recently, but he was top drawer today. I mean, he had his fullback on toast, and he just looks like he really loves playing for this club, and that's something you really want to see as a fan. And yeah, he was sensational. I mean, his pace is electric. You know, his dribbling is really good. He gets past his man so many times, and his end product was good again today. I'll say again, it was good today as opposed to recent weeks. You know, he got his goal, and I was really happy for him today, because I've had doubts of him recently, and he's really stepping up to the plate, and he's making that left wing position his own, and he probably didn't expect to be even near the starting lineup, you know, when we signed him from non-league, and he's really stepped up, and I'm really happy for him, because you know he just loves playing, and that's what you like to see. He's kind of, you know, like a lingerer, and he just works hard, works his socks off all game, but he's got that ability to go with it, which is good, and like I said, got his goal and played really well, so I'd give him a 8.5 today. I think Lisby was quality. No, I'll probably give him an 8, because I'm going to give someone else an 8.5, and you can probably guess who. And another one who got a goal today, Jimmy J Morgan. I thought he was good. He came back into the team with a point to prove after Garbutt taking his 10 position, and he was really good today. Decent finish. It was an okay finish for the first goal, but he kept his composure well and didn't kind of just blast it straight at the keeper, which was good. So yeah, he linked up play quite well, and I think him and Leonard have got a decent partnership, but I haven't got too much to say on Jimmy J, so I'll give him a 7.5. And then moving along, Matty Garbutt. Jesus, I mean, how the hell have we got this player? He is absolutely insane. He, again, I think I've made this comparison before, but it reminds me of when we had Tony. I don't think his ceiling's maybe not as high as Tony's, but he is just so much better than everyone else on the pitch every single time he plays, and it's just a joy to watch. Like, he can get out of a tight gap with like 4 or 5 men around him, and God, I mean, I just love watching him play football. You know, he's so elegant on the pitch. He glides across the grass like nothing, and I'm just falling in love with watching him play. And these are the sort of players that you only come around every few years when you're watching a League One club, and you've just got to enjoy it while he's here. He's going to stay to the end of the season, I think, unless a big offer comes in for him, but I can't see that happening yet. And I'm pretty sure we've got him on a 3-year contract as well, which is mental. You know, if we can push on to the playoffs and even get promoted, I mean, I know that sounds stupid, but we're only 4 points off the playoffs now. I mean, come on, like it's possible. This league is wide open, and we're putting a really good run together. We had a little blip against Lincoln, but it's proven not to be a big deal at all. And yeah, he's special. He's a special talent. I'll give him an 8.5. I was even going to push it to a 9, but I think that's a bit too far. You know, he took his goal well, and what a player! What a player! Again, I don't know. I don't know how many superlatives I can give him. So I'll move on to Leonard, and again, I think he's a cut above at this level as well. He's not as good as Garbett, I don't think. I think pure ability, Garbett is our best player by far, but Leonard just offers that complete striker role that you need. Holds the ball up really well, wins his headers, wins his duels against his men, and you know, he's when he doesn't get a goal, he contributes. You know, he's really good at that hold up play, and I was really happy for him today as well. I thought he put in a really good shift, and I can't really think of anything that he really did wrong. I guess I mean he got an assist to Jimmy J's goal, and yeah, solid player again. I can't really note down anything that he did particularly wrong. So just on the basis he didn't get himself a goal, I'd probably give him a 7, but I think that's quite a harsh 7. I'll probably push it up to a 7.5 maybe. But yeah, that's all the players. Subs, I'll briefly mention Pemi. I thought he was decent. He came on and you know, he made an impact. He held the ball up well and had a decent shot that, again, on another day, if it goes a couple yards to the left of the keeper, would have gone in. And then Kean Hayes nearly set up Kioso for a goal as well. I think we're making a habit of actually making decent subs at the right time, and they really are impacting the games. So I was happy with both of them. Dornelli I didn't really see too much of, so I'm not going to comment on him. But yeah, I thought Adarojo and Hayes made a decent impact. Pemi more so because he had more time. I think Hayes only got subbed on in like the 90th minute or something stupid like that. I'd like to see him get more minutes going forward. That's something I will say on him. But yeah, that's basically it for today's video. Sorry the first half was a little bit all over the place, I guess you could say, but if you did stay with me, I hope you did enjoy. I do a lot better at the player ratings because it's a lot more formatted, but sort of going through minute by minute I will get better at. It's just quite hard to sort of remember the phases of play as I've wrote them down, but I will get better at not going off on a tangent every 5 minutes. But I guess that's what makes a good video, right? And I've got so much to talk about, I'm just going off in all different directions. But I'll make them a bit more structured going forward. I promise you of that, and I will get better at breaking it down play by play. But with that being said, if you did enjoy the video, smash a like on this video. Let's try and get up to 10 likes. I don't normally do that, like goals, so let's go up to 10. Comment down below what you thought of the game if you did watch it, and if you thought my player ratings were too generous or too harsh. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's try and push up to 400 subs in the near future. That'll be amazing. And if you do like my videos, turn on that notification bell to be notified every single time I upload. And with all that being said, all I've got left to say is cheers.